As of the time that this video is being filmed, most of the world is stuck in self-quarantine right now. So what tends to happen when you break away from your usual daily routine is that you can actually start to develop some unhealthy habits, or you can just start to get lazy and forget about the healthy habits that you have built over time. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to go through a few little tips that you can do to start being healthier immediately, like today. Tip number one, since you're not in your usual daily routine of, going to work, maybe going to the gym, you're doing a lot less physical activity. So you're not walking and walking around your workplace, you're not traveling to and from work, you're not going, walking around the shopping malls and doing all these usual things that you would normally do that you might not consider to be physical activity, but are in fact burning extra calories. So the fact that you're not doing those extra bits of activity, compared to now, you're probably just sitting at home most of the day, maybe even in bed, playing on the phone. You might get a little bit of exercise done, but it still doesn't compare to what you would usually do. And what that means is that you don't need as many calories as you usually would, because you don't need all that energy just to sit around on your butt all day. So what you can do is adjust your portion sizes to your meals to be appropriate for your new lifestyle. So I'm not talking about skipping out on meals. I just mean if you normally have 3 meals a day, still have 3 meals a day, but just reduce the portion sizes so you're not eating as much. And make sure that you're not just eating out of boredom, okay? So if you're eating, it's out of necessity, you're fueling your body still, and like I said, you don't need as much fuel to get through the day as you normally do, so adjust your meal sizes to be more appropriate to your new lifestyle. Tip number 2, make sure you're eating balanced meals. Just because you're not going to the gym anymore doesn't mean that you suddenly don't need protein or vegetables in your diet, okay? You still need to have adequate protein in your diet. You still need to have, some healthy, balanced meals to maintain the physique that you've made so far, and to, just maintain a general healthy body with proper body function. So I actually got asked a few times, do I need to be eating high protein still, even though I'm not, lifting weights or training at the gym anymore? And the answer is yes, you still do need to have that higher protein intake, because your muscles need that to sustain the volume that you've acquired over time, okay? So you might not be damaging and repairing your muscles like you normally do, but you still do need to have adequate protein in your diet to maintain those muscles. Okay, so yes, you do need to have protein, and you just need a balanced diet. It doesn't mean you can eat, noodles and mac and cheese all day or whatever. You still need to have a balanced diet of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vegetables, okay? So it's very simple to do this. Just make sure that each meal that you have has, one form of carbohydrates, one form of protein, one form of fat, and one form of vegetables in there, okay? So if you've got all of those things on a meal, it's fairly balanced, okay? Tip number 3, if you are a snacker, and I know a lot of you guys are snackers, you find yourself walking to and from the fridge every 10 to 15 minutes or so to get something. You don't even know what you're looking for. You're just looking for something that you can feed yourself to kind of cure the boredom a little bit. Well, make sure you're prepared for that, okay? You know yourselves, you know if you're a snacker that you need to be ready for this so that you don't empty out your entire fridge into your stomach in a matter of seconds. So, my recommendation if you are a snacker is to, when you do your weekly food shop, make sure you buy a big supply of healthy snacks. Now, that doesn't have to be boring snacks necessarily, okay? Hear me out. Instead of just eating, bags of crisps and chocolates and things like that, you can have a large supply of things like fruits, so grapes, fruit salads that you can make yourself at home, rice cakes, nuts and seeds, dark chocolate, if it's 80% cocoa and above, generally will be quite healthy for you and lower in sugars, and lower in fats as well. So you can eat all of those things, and what's even better is you have all this time now. You can look up some healthy recipes that you can make online, okay? So like energy balls, little protein bars and protein bites and things that you can make at home using healthy ingredients, like peanut butters, oats, seeds, nuts, fruits, dark chocolate, like I said, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to eat it plain. You can combine it into some delicious homemade healthy snacks that you can enjoy without all of the extra guilt. Okay, so use the extra time to make sure you're learning some new recipes and you're not just snacking on junk food for the entire day. Tip number 4 is to plan your meals. Now, if you don't know what you want to eat and you haven't got anything healthy or just anything prepared around the house, there's a good chance that you will turn to food deliveries and order something that's not so healthy because you're hungry and you don't have time to think of what you want to cook and prepare everything, okay? So you're gonna go and you're gonna order some unhealthy food, from a delivery service. Now, to avoid that, what you want to do is actually you need to think ahead a little bit. When you do your weekly food shop, and I do recommend doing a weekly food shop, when you're doing a weekly food shop, have an idea, plan your meals. You don't need to know every single meal that you're going to eat for the rest of the week, but have a good idea of some meals and recipes that you can prepare so that you buy just the ingredients that you need and you've already got everything ready to prepare your meals so that you're not left having to think about what you want to cook and think about if you have the right ingredients for all of that. So an example, something that I do is I will buy like a kilo of minced beef. And I will know that, okay, half of that is going to go towards making spaghetti bolognese. So obviously I'll buy like spaghetti and pasta sauce as well. Half of that is going towards spaghetti bolognese. The other half is going to make homemade burgers. Now with a kilo of beef, how many meals can I make? Like 2 or 3. That means, okay, spaghetti bolognese, I've got 2 or 3 meals from that. Burgers, I have 2 or 3 meals from that. And that way you prepare the food, you can store the rest of it in the fridge, and that way, you're prepared for at least 2 or 3 meals in advance. You know what you're going to eat. It's either in the fridge or you know that you've already bought the ingredients and you know what you need to cook. So that way it's just kind of less tempting to sit around and then order food online. Tip number 5. So far we've only spoken about diet, but there is more to being healthy than just your diet. And a huge part of living a healthy lifestyle that a lot of people forget about is your sleep, okay? So you need to get enough sleep. This applies to all of the time, not just during this quarantine period. However, now poses an incredible opportunity to catch up on a lot of lost sleep that you may not have had the chance to do if you're living, on a busy work schedule. You come home late, you go to the gym, you have dinner, a lot of things can get in the way of having an early night's sleep, especially when you have an early morning start every single day that you need to stick to no matter what. So use this opportunity now to make sure that you are getting an adequate amount of sleep, okay? So an adequate amount is about 8 hours for most adults. So 8 hours is what you should be aiming for per night. That doesn't mean lay in bed all day and sleep. That is not going to be helping you out very much. However, sleeping, 7 to 9 hours has been shown to have incredible benefits for your cognitive and your physical body function compared to if you don't sleep enough. So now is a perfect opportunity. You have no excuses. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Okay, and your final tip for today is to make sure that you are staying active. This seems like a really obvious one. However, a lot of people are forgetting to do this, or you're getting lazy and you don't have motivation, which we will get onto in just a minute. However, the World Health Organization recommends that everyone gets roughly 150 minutes of physical activity per week. So that translates to just a little bit over 20 minutes of activity per day if you're doing that every day, 7 days a week. Okay, so a perfect way to do this is to do like a HIIT workout at home, like a high intensity circuit style body weight workout you can do at home. There's a ton of videos online that you can follow along, and it just means you can have a good variety of workouts. You can do a different workout every single day and keep things exciting, keep yourself active, and it's only 20 minutes out of, I don't know, how many minutes do you have in a day? A lot. I'm sure you're not filling up all of that time sitting at home, so use a small portion of your day to make sure you're at least getting your activity in, burning those calories, keeping your body used to moving. And if you struggle with motivation, because I understand that sometimes watching a video online isn't quite the same as being in a classroom environment, this is kind of a bonus tip. You need to make sure that you are either signing up for preferably a paid online program, okay? And the reason it should be paid, and also you should have to register for it, in my opinion, is because it provides you with both accountability and a reason to turn up, okay? If it's a free video online, For starters, there's no accountability, there's no register or anything like that, so no one's checking whether you did the workout or you didn't. And second of all, it's free, so there isn't a lot of like consequence if you don't turn up, okay? It's not like you lose your money. Signing up for a program where you have to both pay for it, and it doesn't have to be super expensive, but just something where you've put some money, you've invested some money into it, and you've registered so people can see that you've registered and they can see if you're turning up or not. This will make a huge difference to both keep you accountable and to keep you motivated. You don't want to just throw that money away that you spent, so you are going to make that extra effort to turn up to the workouts. So that's my little bonus tip, I guess, for keeping healthy and keeping motivated at home. Okay, that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got a couple ideas for things that you can start to do today to become more healthy at home. Whether you're quarantined or not, these are things that you can do from home, and like I said, you can do it immediately and have an immediate effect, get some immediate results from this. So let me know in the comments below, which of these are you going to start doing? Which of these was like an eye-opener for you that you decided that you are going to start doing today? Don't put it off to tomorrow. Start it today. Start building those healthy habits, even though you might be out of your usual routine. Okay, and yeah, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something, leave me a like, really appreciate that, and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content coming from me. Other than that, have an awesome day, stay safe, stay at home, and stay active. Peace!